I mean, they're just doing a top lane matchup in the support role. Supportal combat has never been this brutal before. And they're going to lock in the Shen instead. This is a carrier special, and he has certainly found a lot of success on this one in the
common exhaust. And down here, depending on how you play this Shen, if you can get level 2 first and you can control this lane, you can have a lot of power, but they're not doing that now.
That is a lot of damage to that fourth shot. We're looking for another one, but it's just Duro that gets the work done. First blood! Could be a matchup that Doran will eventually have a lot of control in. Certainly in the early levels we'll have a lot of control in, but it's still Ambessa, right? As Chovy, not going to have a lot of control in this one. There's a taunt though, Shadow Dash from Carrier as they pull Duro back. They look for Carrier again, and now Ruler needing to grab this kill to try and equalize. He'll find it as Pays runs out of buttons, and especially the mid game, but even hopefully earlier than that.
Camille sneaking around here, by the way. Great pathing from Duro.
Yeah, he is going to look to make his way in as Doran probably going to have to flash this one. There is the sweep, and he's just dead. Doesn't even use the
going over. Can they kill Keen, who has no flash here? He has his ultimate.
Well, can be hard to outplay it, but with 3 people, it might work. There's a heroic entrance as Chovy's going to join in, and that will be enough to defend their top laner. It is going to be grubs taken here by Ona. The Dragon just secured from Canyon, and Gen.G retain that slight gold advantage that was built by the bottom lane earlier on. Nothing has really changed too much. I think the stabilization has been commendable here by T1.
Oh, they're going to try again.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, see whether you can do it with the Camille there as well, as he does have the hook shot. Mega Inferno Bomb able to lock down the Ambessa, but it's 2 already on the floor. As Ona wanting to go back, they're trying to get this reset, but Pays taking so much damage from the tower, and Duro is massive on this Camille.
This is being a pretty big fail from T1. There was a...
Oh, they're collapsing.
Oh, there's in so much trouble.
There's a Galio coming as well. The little Ziggs does avoid the Sonic Wave, but he walks up. And so I think that will have sealed his fate. And it's going to be a safeguard over, wanting to deny Chovy an assist, so it's going to be a solo kill over to Cam. I think. We've just got completely different mid laners and bot laners. Okay, Duro looking for a bit of an angle here, but we know that Carrier is waiting in that brush. He comes out. The double taunt is fantastic, but the public execution is also very good. Doran goes down. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but it's support for top lane. Ona flashing away. Canyon follows. He'll find the Tempest Cripple and the double kill. He's going to rotate his way up. They have a lot of deep vision, though, and I think Gen.G will be able to very comfortably pick this one up for free. Earthwind.
Keen hitting that one-item spike of the Eclipse is such a problem for Doran, who had this Vayne matchup and was hoping to come out successfully. 0-3-2 now, and Keen feels like such a scary threat. They're still trying to 4-man top lane.
There are so many bad guys here as Doran goes in. Mega Inferno Bomb, they do manage to kill the Ambassador as Duro just has to get himself the heck out of there. Finally, mission complete. As Duro is likely to go down as well. It's a double for Faker as Chovy looking to trade this one. Ruler also getting some damage down in this mid lane. The cross map is pretty ridiculous here from Gen.G.
Yeah, Gen.G are going to be able to grab this first turret in return. Needed advantage in the bottom lane, the more that lead compounds, and you'll just never get it back as T1. You can't go back in time.
Well, Carrier is able to stand in the Spirit's Refuge. That's going to help him out against Ruler here as Duro now in a little bit of trouble. Faker moving over as the taunt set up just to try and get this Camille out as the Rift Herald down very, very low. Secured here by the Jhin as now Keen shows up and gets so much damage. Down goes Doran, the immediate revenge for the Ambessa. The curtains were called, and it is indeed curtains for T1 in that play as the Herald goes over to Gen.G as well.
This game have been so good. Teleports into 4. Faker and
Duro comes in. Speaking of ults, as now Chovy turns up with a gigantic taunt, and down they all go. Even Duro surviving the Mega Inferno Bomb in the end.
It's nearly an ace, and they have a Herald on the turret.
And T1's composition, one that wants to control the so beautifully played there. Those little micro movements are just textbook.
They finally got the turret, though.
There we go.
It only took 17 minutes to try it.
No. Game state that I was expecting. I was expecting this Ziggs draft to be able to play out this stage of the game and really take control of structures, get control of areas, utilize
well with the ult to get movement speed. Jhin, for example, doesn't. Oh, Keen looking for an all-in.
Yeah, Canyon is going to come down here as he does have support from Carrier. He's going to be able to pick up that kill as Canyon now has to get out of
valuable money, but this turret is so healthy. They're going to stick for it. They're going to look for more.
Yeah, Canyon is able to safeguard as the Condemn is coming down. As now Pays. He's on his satchel, but he's just going to get wiped out by Ruler. Finds the bullet and he's able to take him out. Petrifying Gaze under 2, it's Faker, makes the flash play, and now Canyon trying to get himself out. The heroic entrance is going to allow it, but now Chovy's in the firing line, and he is just
Here comes Duro.
His way down, and Duro, the hero of the hour, is looking to make his way in. Another Condemn coming on through as now Gen.G find the front foot, and the teleport from Keen, as this man has been addicted to revenge this game, and he's going to find even more as Faker goes down.
Ruler's opening the base!
Gets his man, and yeah, Ruler has never been with his team, to be honest. He's just killing turrets.
Baron's up, Dragon's in a minute and a half. They're looking for Faker here.
Well, he does have Owner as support. And so Chovy not going to be quite as tanky as he otherwise would be, but I think they're just going to flash on it. They look for the angle onto Faker. Petrifying Gaze does connect, but Canyon still resonating strike comes in. Double knock-up as the heroic entrance comes down just as punch for more CC as Keen is there for the cleanup. He is going to go down as he goes a little bit too deep. The Condemn was pretty good there from Doran, but it
goes so hard when you're trying to connect on the targets. They're going in for this TP. T1 want to contest this, but they're so far behind. This needs to be flawless from them.
Yep. Teleport does come in. There's a deadly flourish onto Carrier as Canyon just gets on top of him and Chovy knocks him down. Now Owner's going to need a fantastic smite, but it's Gen.G that are looking for the team fight as in goes Keen. He is going to be Petrifying Gaze though, and now able to dash his way out. Still taken down by Owner, who is doing battle in the back line. Still going to be taken. He did buy a lot of time, but Pays is still dead. The Hextech ultimatum saved for
the critical Shen ultimate in this fight, and the pick to kill Carrier was through really basic abilities. No expensive cooldowns were used, so it's really easy for them to... And the Dragon does go over to T1, so there's some small, very microscopic silver linings here. I just don't think it gets better from here, as Canyon could do whatever he wants, seemingly. He's got GA as well.
Yeah.
2 levels up on Owner. Like, legitimately 2 levels up.
Canyon. He is going to get hit by a Petrifying Gaze. That GA may not last very long as he does safeguard, gets the kickback onto Owner, and will keep that... oh, never mind. Okay, still holds onto it. Calculated, I guess. Chovy is now here, and so the Lee Sin is going to be okay. No flash, though.
Some aura farming, I guess.
Yeah.
Not necessary at all.
Oh, there is a taunt. It looks like Carrier's one is going to be working out okay, but the Winds of War do damage now. Riftmaker now done for Chovy.
And even threatening an inhibitor turret in the mid lane, and now the inhibitor.
Duro testing out his top lane career here in this game, as now Owner getting taken down to about 2/3. King Tribute going to be helping him, but this is an inner turret still under fire. This siege minion is just sitting there, hitting.
He's just got hit by a bouncing grenade.
Oh, I think Canyon might be in a little bit of trouble here. Goes down to the GA. Double knock up there from the heroic entrance as Chovy should be able to save the Lee Sin, but for how long, that's the question. Great interruption with the pillar, but it's not enough to save Carrier. And you guys were talking about it this whole time. Where's the damage?
And you know what's so sad? If they'd gotten the GA earlier on Canyon, that would have been that whole kill there. But unfortunately, it's now just a 5v4 as Gen.G are pushing into the base. There's Duro.
Yeah, looking for the angle once again. Hextech ultimatum is going to be thrown down onto Owner, and he is going to be taken out. No subjugation going to work this time, as Canyon looking to get on over here and take down this inhibitor as well, but the top inhib is also going to fall. The base of T1 just being turned into rubble here by Gen.G in game 1.
And it almost felt like they wanted to just use Canyon as a Chovy ult point.
Yeah, right.
Just stand near them so I can get a good ult. And he's just been walking towards T1 and setting. I wonder if it's in game 2, actually. It might be the time.
It would be great if we had it then too. If they wanted to win game 1 though, they're going to need a lot right now.
They're all grouped up right now. Baker a little bit extended.
Oh, public execution will be avoided here, but the Petrifying Gaze also does nothing. And Carrier, oh no, he didn't sign up for this. Well, actually he did. He pressed on the Cassiopeia, and he's going to go down as well. That's going to really create some problems as Gen.G are running so quickly, and they are looking for this last inhibitor and probably some Nexus turrets afterwards.
This should just be the game if they just keep the push up here. Triple inhibitors is a death sentence, and Gen.G, this sidestep they keep getting on these Petrifying Gazes have just been insane. The microwave from them.
Oh, Q gonna get picked up here as they get back onto Pays. Canyon finds it one more time. Keen's gonna go down though, and now Doran with that ulti running, looks for the angle, gets a double kill here, as Ruler's going to be taken out for the first time this game, and Canyon gets on top of him. Down goes Doran. It was some heroics in the end, but I don't think it's going to be enough to win them this game. But maybe they won't lose just yet. As Carrier, going down. Faker with a full health bar, looking pretty good. But Chovy looking to get on top of him. The taunt is not going to work. Petrifying Gaze onto just Chovy is not enough. And now it is just Owner against the world as Gen.G move in with their army of minions and look to take game one here. As, man, looks like Gen.G are hungry to defend that.
Even though there's a decent amount of magic from the Yorick too, and it is looking just to be the Calista Renata. I'm coming out of this one and once again feeling like T1 have the edge in terms of draft. This time it's Gen.G with more the control element, trying to keep that backline safe.
Finish with Smite here so we can rush it very quickly with the prio they have, and I just don't think there's any time to muster a contest. Chovy's already backed in mid lane, and this should just be break secured.
Yeah, I think the Chovy...
not going to be the same order this time around, as we'd need a Mountain Soul for that, as now Canyon gets the ward down. Good Shuriken backflip is going to be there as the handshake comes through. And Duro trying to keep himself alive, but it's not quite working. Owner doesn't find the Vault Breaker, as Ruler still desperately trying to get out of here, but it's not going to work. Pays rips out, just altered the minion wave.
Yeah, they can't fight this.
Yeah, to get some tempo back, and because that ult is now on cooldown, this is just not a realistic option. Double grubs going over to Gen.G. Looks like it is going to be a consolation grub to go over as they get up there, but still, Owner is sticking with this dragon.
I think that's enough. That unsealed spellbook pick gets him the defense there, denies Canyon, and they get double dragon into Chemtech Soul. Stage. We're not there yet as T1 have full control over this Herald. And as we've been talking about, Gen.G just opt out because they do not want to give T1 an opportunity to say
alongside Keen teleporting into the bot lane as Gen.G wanting to deny the soul point. Faker is going to be spotted here by Keen. Combat Herald down, and it's a lot of damage. Yeah, like you were saying, there is the Combat Herald as Canyon flashes out of the way, but he's still going to get knocked up. As Shelly getting a lot of work down. He sips the sap, but it's not going to work. Down goes the Calista. The bailout is in for pace. Gets the reset, but Keen is massive. Duro and Chovy on the other side of the fight. They're in a lot of trouble. And Owner is going to let his fist do the talking. Still Keen is in there, trying to take him down. And the egg, will it stay alive? The flash out from Chovy. He is able to keep himself up, and now Keen in a 1v1 with Faker. He finds another Morning Mist, and this Yorick is a behemoth!
Keen is just an absolute monster. I think the two biggest things for Gen.G that kept that fight even was his Yorick just running around, smashing skulls.
With a maiden!
Ruler's Blade Caller as well had so much impact. A fight that T1 definitely felt like they should be winning with the Combat Herald as well. But in the end, it's Keen who comes in strong. And we're going to get a refight for the Dragon.
Yeah, good handshake there from Carrier as Doran's looking to move his way back, but he hasn't been back to base yet. And these ghouls, man. What
I think this is just Gen.G's Dragon. There's just no two ways about it. T1 not able to
Shiv now, as he's gone for that after the Rage Blade. Pretty good item on this patch at the moment. Is now Keen getting focused down by Owner. Cease and desist comes in. The Maiden getting involved as well. And Keen, I think, will be burning down. And there he goes on the cross map. Faker trying to keep himself alive. As a smite comes in, Twisted Advance is down. And Faker no chance of getting out of that one with Duro joining the party.
Oh, a turret has already gone down here in the bottom lane for T1. It's going to take Gen.G a lot of time to get one in return. And Ruler's not going to be able to defend himself here alone, so there's going to be some tough calls made for Gen.G. They are going to commit to that topside turret and trade, but T1 can match that and actually look for almost a second one here, as well as mid-side prio, so T1 getting a lot in this instance here on that initial pick. And yes, Faker dies, but T1 are still getting more.
Also, it's a 3-0 Yorick that they managed to take out, so T1 making a good practice play, even though Gen.G, once again, cross-mapping, going for the trades. T1 are the ones who end up getting the edge in this situation. That being said, Doran stays for the tower.
I mean, he's
composition if they fail this fight.
Well, Faker makes his way over. His ulti just came off cooldown, but once again, Keen is going to find him. And oh my goodness, these Qs are doing so much work.
That's ult burn by Faker.
Yeah, he's out of there already.
Oh, Keen is doing such a good job of just keeping this Akali accountable. And with Faker burning his ult to get out of the Uli wall.
True. Maybe an angle. Now just looking for this outer turret in mid lane. Ruler going to burn down the flash out. And the cease and desist not actually going to be pressed here as Chovy now potentially in trouble. Faker liking this matchup a lot more as there is the perfect execution and gets the egg. But he's in range of the turret and is not going to be able to take down Chovy on this Anivia just yet. But gets him ready for the next bout.
Rua decides they are like, I have Maokai ult, T1 cannot get there. A positional prio, we talked about it so many times. Rua doesn't have flash, but it won't matter if they can never touch him.
This ward is pretty ridiculous though from T1 as Chovy gonna get engaged on. He flashes out of the way. There's a Nature's Grasp for Zona, separates himself. The hostile takeover, gigantic, but once again, Keen is going ballistic. Pay's trying to dash around the fight and does Mega Cone his way out, and it's T1 that find every angle, and only Canyon is left alive.
T1 punished Gen.G for going for the aggressive Baron. Chovy was on the front line with no egg, and they immediately target him. A's kiting like his life depends on it, and it absolutely did.
Watch Owner when he goes in here as well, as they initially catch Chovy, flashes on him, despite the charmed defensive attempt there from Durhead. Pays' Kalista is crazy. He's got QSS online from that fight. T1 really in control. We were worried maybe this charging his Q and his ult available. If he doesn't press R there, he probably just dies, and letting the turret go is the correct call, but now he has another safety tool lost, and T1 still have a whole minute of Baron here. They want this inhibitor.
Yep, they're going to take the Maiden as well, as Canyon looking for a little bit of a potential engage. Coolie wall and the actual wall. He's going to get the GA out of Owner and probably secure his life as well. Hostile takeover doesn't find the angle this time as Pace is behind the base gates. He is in so much danger. The bailout not going to work as Ruler stays just barely alive. Carrier going to fall, and T1's Baron will
back up. Ruler's got his flash back up. Chovy's about to have his.
Oh, Faker looking for an angle towards Chovy as he does dash on in. There's a grand entrance, and Faker is just taken out. Ruler finds the feather.
A 3-7 elemental game.
Yeah, T1 are pushing now through bot lane. They can't go through the jungle. Takes too long. Too many saplings. They're going straight through bot.
Gonna look for the fight.
It's going to be so hard to secure, so I think the fight afterwards is what they're going to have to look for, as the wall just prevents them from going anywhere near this. As Owner gets in there, he's able to actually get towards his streak. The equalizer, fantastic. It's Canyon that secures it. Owner goes down as well, as now Carrier in trouble. It is going to be Pace pulling out those sticks, grabbing that first kill, and Gen.G's health bars are going lower and lower. Faker finds Ruler as Pace going to be taken down. Pace finally unleashed as he picks up the double, and Chovy trying to run away those Swifties, getting some work done, as once again will be able to put up that wall, but I think Faker might be able to find him, as Chovy not able to get the angle on the stun, and now needs to keep flapping to get himself out of the way of this one.
It's gonna get another Q though. It's got vision.
Chovy's TP is nearly up. Oh,
hang on, wait, he's just buying
long.
so much time though.
Yeah, this is actually such a win for Gen.G. Even if he dies ultimately, he has his egg too.
Carrier has the CC, but he can TP in the egg. If Handshake's gone.
Yeah, there's the egg. And Doran just goes for the golden burn to take out the
Faker, allowing him to do the damage, then get out safely. The Paze follows up some damage, and then it's the execution from Faker in the final moment there. The DPS duo working together in tandem
so far.
And Inhibitor looking like it is starting to really take some big hits here from those cannon minions empowered by the Baron, and Doran is just empowering that here. Gen.G look like they will barely get the defense. No, they decide not to.
Yeah, a cannon will go down. Gen.G do want to fight for this soul. Quadra Chemtech soul is kind of crazy, as now Ruler might be in trouble. Does have the Featherstorm, but the cease and desist comes down. He finally gets that ulti through, as the flash out doesn't work, and the bottom lane are eviscerated. Canyon still trying to fight, gets the sticks ripped out of him though, and it's Faker that grabs the kill. A double for the Akali, and T1, they don't care about a dragon. They just want to kill all of Gen.G and win this game too, bringing us once again to a best of 3 for a ticket to MSI.
Keen does end up getting a kill onto Doran, and Chovy is buying time, but that mid inhibitor is open, and Paze is going to end this game. There's no way Chovy can get back, and I think we are going to a 1-1 series here.
They're just escorting him, keeping him under lock so he can't get back to base. They'll push through with the super minions. He will eventually go down, and T1 will equalize the series.
A beautiful game from T1. There was a hiccup, a couple maybe, but they held strong, and man, Paze on this Kalista. What an incredible...
A lot of thoughts. I think they picked the Alistair first because he wasn't sure yet, and this is going to go down to the last second left.
Olaf? Okay. So Faker has played this before. I was
control vision on the entrance there. They have vision on the dragon as well, so he feels very good about this.
Oh, that's a bear. That's all. That's my play-by-play, by the way.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's a bear.
That's all there is to say.
That's pretty unbearable.
It was a bear.
I apologize, Ox. I'll try and be better. It's all right. Faker down to about 300.
Lost the cannon.
He's fine. And all right, there's a shock blast, and Faker, oh, it's in the air, and there's first blood!
Person view there of Faker, but we'll see when we go into the replay if we can.
I hope they don't do it to him, as Hepa Pulverize does come in from Carrier. Ruler once again finding a bit of an angle here with his rebuttal, but the unstoppable onslaught delivers Faker to the bar lane, and Ruler, he has to try and dodge it, therefore walking into the waiting arms.
In trouble, but Faker drives right between the tri-brush, and he's dead again. May have been a bit zoned in the lane as a flank.
Ow. Question mark. As Ruler this time doesn't have the rebuttal, he's going to get snared. There's the heroic charge back, but Carrier running real fast with that ghost, and Ruler has nothing he can do. He just dies.
You know, I think with the Mel, you're so good at playing into sort of longer range abilities. You have that rebuttal or just anything you can reflect, but into things like a Sion or an Alistair, you just don't have tools really to outplay them. If you land the root, great. If they sidestep it, if it misses, if it's not used at the most effective time, they just get on top of you and then there's nothing you can do. I'm looking at this enemy composition as the Mel, and it's kind of nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
I feel like Doran is going to have to do some heavy lifting in this game because Faker is so far behind. And the Senna is ahead, but that doesn't necessarily translate to a big mid-game or anything like that yet. She needs more souls.
No.
Canyon's here again. Oh, not one more time.
Kobe holds the flash, decides he doesn't want to go for it. And so now Faker gonna have to try and keep himself alive. Channels another Q, and now Oda makes his way in. Canyon flashes. Dawning Shadow comes down, and there's the flash from Ona to follow, and down goes the Jace. Ona here to save the play.
It's not the most amazing, but he went for the early Serpent's Fang, which is very cost efficient and great into this composition for what it's doing right now. And Ruler has his first item, which is a little bit more of a
T1's contest of this Dragon. And Double Dragon's great for Gen.G, not the end of the world for T1 to have to give this one up. And I think dying on that hill is not what you want to be doing. Spade's coming on over, just grabbing as many souls as he can. Feeling good about that. As Duro looking to gank and Olaf. Let's see whether they can get the Ragnarok at least. As it's going to get pushed back. It is going to be a Mountain Soul. Oh my god, if T1, if T1 get control of this game again and stack 4 Mountains, it's unplayable for Gen.G. Absolutely. As now Doran taking so much damage. Dawning Shadow is going to at least soften up Chovy a little bit, as the exhaust was used just to get rid of him. And now Pays throws the Rift Herald towards this outer turret in the mid lane. Ruler not with enough wave clear to clear this one out quickly enough. As first turret is going to be the race here as Ona finds Canyon. Canyon does get the Hammer Boot back and does have himself a Blast Cone in order to escape. But that is going to be first turret going over to Gen.G and extending that gold lead.
Yeah, should see Pays answer here in the mid lane. And Ona with a lot of pressure. He has to be careful of Chovy over the wall.
Yeah. Oh, low 4 health! And
Ona these objectives. Gen.G have Prio now. Faker's going to TP over and try to wrestle some of that away.
Yeah, Keen makes his way in there as well as Faker turns up. Avoiding a fair bit of this poke right now as Duro going to get snared. Doesn't snare the rest of his teammates though, as Doran is on a flank angle and he is so scary if he can get into this backline. Shock Blast goes wide, actually could be a big deal as there is the flash in from Carrier, but he's a little bit disconnected from the rest of the team. They're chasing Chovy out of there. The Undertow's thrown the other way, but the flash to follow from Doran. In the meantime, the rest of the fight, Gen.G trying to pull it back, and the flash forward from Keen gets the kill onto the cow, and Chovy somehow playing a weird game of tennis where the Dragon is the net. What the heck was going on there? As the snare not going to connect onto Faker, who looks to get himself out. These health bars are so low. How is this just a 1-for-1? T1 get control.
T1 end up having the pressure advantage. They didn't, though, get to finish off the Dragon. A reset comes in first, and neither team even played.
Alone, he's going to on top of Ruler. Things get a little bit different as Gen.G again have this Prio now.
Well, into the pit goes Doran, but he immediately gets pulled back, taking so much damage. Dawning Shadow keeping him alive, but he will be taken out. They traded for Ruler, but there's still a lot of damage left here for Gen.G. The Grim Deliverance from Keen. Carrier right in amongst it, but he's going to be taken out. And now it's Ona that's in there doing battle. Finds the Poppy, but that's just the support. And that is going to be the Drake going over to Gen.G, keeping their whole top side alive and just forego. I don't know whether T1 will have enough time to get this center scaled up, you know, to have that advantage. As the unstoppable onslaught here from Faker is optimistic, as Chovy does have those Swifties. The rest of T1 looking for an angle, but Ona's approach is going to get denied, and I think Faker is just gonna go down. Chovy comes on over, does have a Q, but it's Canyon that grabs the kill. The rest of T1,
Baron's up.
Baron is at least able to take this turret in the bottom lane. but he's got a teleport in hand.
Baron's up, and without half of the front line, I think they just focus him down again. If he decides to show up, he is going to come here a little bit late. Gen.G playing this slow. Duro on the flank.
Yeah, Keeper's Verdict going to be a big deal, but it's on cooldown.
Cone again, he's looking for it.
Yeah, Flash not quite available just yet. Keen is going to stop that one. Carrier in so much trouble. Gen.G looking for the turn. A better Baron play than their last one, we have to admit.
Oh, Doran gets caught here.
With the wraparound. And Chovy is going to be able to find him with that stun. He has to throw down the Ragnarok, but using it defensively, he doesn't get a lot of time. And Keen wants that angle. Owner is going to find him. And it looks like Keen is going to get dissuaded, and the Baron will be foregone for now.
The game is going to be a big responsibility for Doran to maybe be a frontline so that Paze can actually go with him in terms of target selection.
Faker is not going to be able to start any fights with that low health bar, and his teleport is available. He may need to use it.
I think that's exactly what he's going to do.
They can get that big shield, and he can front line with that.
They're just going to focus the Dragon now. They've done enough work here. Carrier getting low.
Yeah, Gen.G going to try and hold on to this one. Remember, this is Mountain Soul, T1. They cannot give this one up, but Faker makes his way back. The rest of his teammates looking a little worse for wear, though, and Paze just needs to hammer that Q button over and over again.
But again, only hitting Keen, and no one else cares, and the shot
the flash forward from Keen, but he misses. Doesn't get on top of Paze, who gets his exhaust off. And now Carrier gets into that backline. Chovy able to avoid Paze. Grim Deliverance is denied. And now the Dragon should belong to T1. A double. Doran as he gets into the backline, but it's Ruler that locks that one down. Owner should be able to secure this Dragon, but that is going to be the snipe from Canyon to try and even out this trade. And it will not be even in the end. T1 deny the soul and win the fight.
Faker once more here. They are going to try to collapse.
And Faker's health bar looking a whole lot better now. Nazrula is going to be able to snare him. The flash forward.
This whole game, but it does twice.
Doran realizes that he's probably been seen based on the movement of Gen.G. And the Keeper's Verdict is not going to come
He just wants to make sure Owner doesn't. He just wants to make sure Owner doesn't.
Yeah, Keen actually cancels his back there as well, as Carrier is going to find him. Faker looking for an angle here. Let's see whether Keen can actually buy enough time, because Doran and Owner are both running up.
This is a
Pass is going to follow as, Keen does have the ulti. He's doing a lot of work and has charged up the passive. It's going to take a long time as now Canyon gets on in here. There is the chase as they look to get on top of Doran, the Dawning Shadow, to keep him alive as it's both of them going down. In the meantime, though, Pace just dead to Chovy. The bear burns him down, and Chovy throws a Q into a decoy, but eventually finds the right Wukong, and Faker might be able to push Chovy away, but the damage, it has been done, and Gen.G will wipe them off the map.
This felt like a winning play for T1, but then Paze gets exploded by Chovy, and suddenly, without that damage, without that DPS, without that Senna, everything falls apart, and Gen.G will claim the Baron.
And it is so crazy how much damage Doran took from Canyon at this late game stage. Like, oh, Olaf, he's going in, and then he goes almost 100-0 as well as they trade their lives. In the beginning of this, and we're going all the way.
Yeah. I mean,
then just
he faked it really well.
Flashed on his face, and he was just dead.
But I think in Paze's mind, he's like, I don't die here.
And suddenly you lose an inhibitor.
Well, you've got Ruler now trying to push this one in. Does manage to take down the inner turret thanks to the crystal. Possible, unless he finds a beautiful angle to avoid a 5-5.
They're looking for him. They don't know where he is. They're like, where is this Olaf? Okay. I want to see him. I need to know where he is. It's behind them.
Just TPing for the shield right now. Oh, it doesn't actually have it.
Oh, he doesn't have those?
Yeah.
As, all right, Keen could be in a little bit of trouble. Grim Deliverance is available, so he will be able to keep that one alive as the Pulverize comes in. T1 looking for the angle is Keen. He gets the Grim Deliverance. He manages to keep himself alive, but everyone is going down lower, and there is another snare, so Keen is dead in trade for Owner. The flash out from Duro might be able to keep him alive as Faker just being that front line.
Probably would have been the end of the game, I think, in almost every situation, but the fact that he's not there is that we get another free fight here.
There he is now.
Yeah, he turns around, but he's spotted so incredibly quickly. Chovy looks for the angle. The health power of this Olaf is going down, but it's not going to fall. And Chovy dies. T1 fine too. Ruler is still alive, still has some damage, but Canyon will hit the deck, and that is 3 on the floor. T1 able to march up this bottom lane if they want to.
That's the late game Olaf comeback. You were talking about Atlas in the draft before we even got in the game. We've seen Doran do this before. In our minds, we're wondering about the simulation of what would happen if he was in that back line, and then we saw it before our very eyes. Ruler, the last to fall here, and I think T1 have pulled themselves to match point.
They've managed to do it once again. Doran on the late game, Olaf comes in clutch, and this was not an easy game. This hasn't been an easy series, but T1 are looking to go to match point. Keen trying to defend.
Yeah, trying to kill the minion wave at least, but it's going to be very difficult. Doesn't get that passive, and Duro now with the Keeper's Verdict. Can he get rid of them? The answer is no. Now he hits a few minions away, but that is about it.
Not enough.
And there are 7 seconds on Chovy, and I don't think that's going to mean anything at all. T1, 1 game away from Daejon. As out of the fountain goes Chovy, and back again he goes immediately as T1.
I'm never a fan of Zilean. If you res your AD carry dies a second time every time. We've seen Zilean work well, I think, in solo lanes and in other places with different drafts than this one. I was
obviously able to teleport back in whenever he would like to. Meganar is going to be hit here by Doran, as that is a lot of damage onto Pays. Mystic Shot's landing, but he's also able to turn it. Barrier, the flash, and Rule is just dead! Started moving over towards Canyon now. Chovy obviously able to follow as the Claw gets Faker out of there. And Owner is not really interested in contesting this, although T1
6 now.
moving their bottom lane up, and now the Paranoia comes in, and Canyon's just dead. No level 6 available, and he's just going to die.
This was so well played by T1. They know they can slow this down. Cannon Barrage is used defensively on top, so they don't have it for the fight. Owner is calculated. The team rotates over at the exact same time he's finishing that buff to hit 6 to ult in, and now he's going to secure this dragon.
And I think in Canyon's mind, he's constantly trying to keep Ona down by denying him camps, but every time it happened, Ona just slinked over to Canyon's jungle and took some himself.
Oh, Doran taking a lot of damage here from Keen, and the trial by fire is dangerous. The parlay's not enough, and the is Gen.G. Not bad at all. We're going to say calculated, even though now we know officially that it was kind of an accident as Cannon Barrage goes down. Faker comes in, though, and Keen going to need to eat a lot of damage. He does! Doran's dead, and Keen stays alive! It's a solo now.
Where did he be?
What?
Why would he do that?
Teleport back to the top lane from Doran. They are not interested in looking for that one. True Shot Barrage is not going to quite find the interruption there onto Pays. And it is going to
sets you up to use them when you're the AD carry, because sometimes you don't get to do anything on your own. You have to be given some help, as that was a great charm. Chovy's been popping off on this pick into a counter pick.
Yeah, that is probably a dead Duro. Yeah, I would say so.
With his cannon wave here to try to get some plate damage done, and it won't be able to do what a Herald does, but he can do a little bit.
I think a big factor is T1 posturing just to make sure Gen.G did group up so Pays does get access to the tower. If you just don't send anyone a Herald, they'll just have people in mid defending, as they do now.
Oh, Canyon.
The ult back up, by the way.
As the ulti plays a little bit of Nocturne tennis as he does flash his way over the wall, but the eye is going to get taken here by Keen. He's fighting against Pays, but Carrier's there to back him up. I have a feeling that this gangplank is not going to live, and he is going to go down. That is going to be the kill onto Doran, though, as now Faker is in a lot of trouble buying time, but it's a double for Ruler. He finally goes down, though, as Chovy looks for the angle, but doesn't find it, and Pays kills the rest of them.
T1 in a winning position right now, but still looking to set up for this dragon, and Gen.G trying to approach.
Yeah, see whether Gen.G have some fight left in them. Cannon Barrage back up and available. In fact, every ultimate is there apart from Doran's. His Boomerang also running away. Pays taking a lot of damage here as the Rift Herald. They catch him! And they catch him! Carrier in trouble as well, as he will be taken out by Canyon. And he has the Crescent Guard there as well. They take out the turret. Faker with the self-ult, but he'll just be taken out as look at all this essence that Chovy's built.
Infallible. He was the one that had the great judgment. They had the angle, though. The late Herald drop, and he just completely gets...
Wait, oh no.
Oh, not able to get that, but that is... Ruler that locks it down. Canyon
comes a target on your back, and they got a lot of CC.
Yep.
And burst damage, as we saw there from Ruler.
Well, Pays is now, you know, he's going to learn from that one. He's still massively far ahead, but he's the only one on his team with an advantage. And once again, it's Chovy is massively the Ezreal this time around. It's one of my favorite things to talk about as well. I'm very sad. That's okay. King going to be able to take down this outer turret in the bottom lane. Faker going to return the favor on the top side of the map.
T1, a lot of Baron control right now. A lot of vision control on the entrance to the river. Quite tempting to start this one up with this 3-item Yunara, but instead they're going to set a trap. And Gen.G, like, don't take the bait at all.
You say that. Great charm is going to connect as the wild growth from Carrier. That play was absurd! That is illegal. You're not allowed to do that as Keen turns up. And now the flash out. There's the Crescent Guard as Faker gets into the backline, finds the Frozen Tomb onto Keen as the Gnar comes back, but Faker is already dead. Ruler standing his ground and pays, taking matters into his own hands, but the barrel is just so big, and it's Ruler's turn to carry this time. Maybe I am allowed to talk about the item spikes because Ruler's
This could be a penta.
the third.
Who's there to follow, but then they chase a bit deep with Faker on the Lissandra looking for the triple root here. Everybody's now we got a series right, and that's good. I could walk out of this one happy, but ooh.
All right, Duro doesn't have flash, so he's very dead. It's just going to be taken out. That is going to take
pride that they have to want to try to defend their legacy against each other. It's very epic to see how this game has turned out as this Dragon will ultimately go.
As Keen.
Area is so important here is Wild Growth, how he chooses to use it. Does he
honestly, one barrel can be the end as Pays goes in. There's a Paranoia as well. Cannon Barrage goes down, but not a lot of value coming from that one as Keen still able to get a lot of damage from the grave, but he will go down. And T1, can they get back in? Wind becomes lightning, Doran stays alive. And Gen.G, I think they're going to have to give this one up. I don't think the game is worth one Ocean Dragon.
I don't think so.
See Faker did reset, doesn't have TP, so just trying to run back over here. Pays trying to get the red buff and heal up off it.
Doran didn't get a whole lot out of this Mega Gnar.
Well, he flashes, does get a single-person ultimate, but Chovy will
here yet.
Yeah, going to help Ruler grab that kill. Now Carrier just goes down. The True Shot Barrage does a lot of work, and Faker turns up alongside Pays, but T1 have 2 dead. That's going to be the soul.
Just trying to keep them at bay as they finish this one off. It's down to 75.
Has ultimate, though, if he really wants to go for it.
It's vision, though.
Does he have health bar? That's the problem. As Keen, these barrels just do so much damage. 4 seconds until he does have the Cannon Barrage back up for the junglers, but also Pays. He pressed his R button. He's not going to have that for the next little while. And Gen.G, they take down the inner turret here on the top side in this Rebel Baron power play. This time around, it is looking like it's pretty charged up. As Faker able to take the claw to get himself to safety. They kind of wish that their inhibitor turret could have also taken the claw to get to safety because it's not looking very safe at all. Pays still doing a lot of damage as Canyon in trouble. Faker is just dead.
A charm from Chovy means he can't ult, he just goes down before he gets a chance.
Oh my goodness, and this Cannon Barrage means that there's no ability to try and follow up on anything at all. The poke damage from Gen.G just kind of ridiculous.
They're trying to end this game right now with the whittling down of these turrets. 3 cannon minions charged up. They just can't clear them.
Yeah, Chovy! And the flash from Chovy not going to quite connect as they look for Pace. He still almost dies to Ruler as Keen. Wanting to get the barrels down. Doran charges up that Mega Gnar. He throws the house around, but the base is now exposed. The Nexus will just be focused here by Gen.G. And cue the Silver Scrapes. We're going to 5.
Such a
T1 round out this composition. Look,
Carrier is stoked about it.
Is like, yep, they let me play it, and it will be the Realm Misfortune for Gen.G. This composition did come together better than I was expecting a lot earlier, and has certainly gone the distance. I feel so blessed that we get the full value.
Oh, it's nearly gank.
Okay, looking for the angle here as Faker
Gold card.
ghosting away, and there's the flash. Gold card to come through. The spear will connect, but Canyon not able to get the empowered pounce, but still Faker is running for such a long time. And it means that Chovy is able to have so much free time with this lane. Faker is running the wrong direction, remember?
He's going to get
so
the execute.
will not actually get the execute. Look for the, actually no, does decide to do that. He probably could have just gone for a recall. We know, obviously, that will be claimed by T1 to get a little bit back against the flow of play.
Dragon secure here immediately. Not in a farm lead or anything.
Seen a Destiny Gate yet from Chovy either, so if things get a little bit weird and wonderful as the ulti comes through from Ona, there's a Realm Warp as well. The Gate, the Destiny has come on through, but Canyon didn't have a pounce to get over that wall, and now Carrier is the target for Chovy, and Canyon just looking to pounce his way out of there. The dagger is going to miss, and I think that Canyon is able to get the Primal Surge. The blast goes not enough, and first blood will go to T1. And
from a future gang with that flash in his pocket.
He's cut the gold lead in half off of that play on this Rise is the one who picks up the kill. So this is a big wrench into the gears of Gen.G's early machine. And we saw Chovy try to match the ultimate there, but knew he couldn't alter that play. Saw with his Destiny that Keria was flanking there and tried to get him, but was unsuccessful, as we're going to have a potential all-in here for Keen.
Yeah, here's the Dominus as Doran holds onto the cask. Canyon looking to take down these grubs. One of them was taken by Ono, but the rest of Gen.G show up. That is going to mean that Canyon is able to secure 2 of them. And Dominus here getting the health bar back for just scouting around here. Does not get tagged by the snare. As Chovy just doing his very best to keep things shoved in. That's going to be a Cloud Soul once again.
W max because he's going tank, not putting points in his queue, other than that face on. And so as a result, getting very tanky very quickly.
Ooh, bit of a party cast there from Doran, but great sidestep from Keen. As the Destiny Gate combo comes down, as soon as he makes one mistake, it's Doran going to hit the deck, and that is going to be the first kill for Gen.G.
He's just like, all right, well, you used your peel tool, and we're going to kill you.
Instantly, the Destiny Gate comes down as, all right, that's a cute little flash away, but I don't think it's going to really help Duro here, as now Carrier is a little bit by himself, wants to try and flash, but he's unable to do so. A little bit of a mistake there by the Nico, and that is going to be another one over to Gen.G. Bit of cross-map pressure down towards his top outer turret, but it looks like Gen.G not too worried about it. As Ona comes on in, there's a Hex Splash from Duro. His Carrier looking for a bit of an angle. He's a little doggo. That's very, very cute. But now Keen wanting to stop any sort of approach. That will be the Rift Arrow going down, but the Pop Blossom, he's going to come on in. Bullet time, fantastic though, and Gen.G looking brilliant in the team fight. T1 flashing the wrong direction. As the Realm Warp from the Blast Cone gets phased to safety, and it's Ona that's popping off eventually. Gets cleaned up by the
Dragon though will go down. They will opt out of that, but already at a 2,000 plus gold deficit.
There is full vision though. You can see this ward has not been cleared out, and Ona is just going to come on over. It is not going to be the secure, but Canyon now in a lot of trouble. He blasts a dash cannons to try and get himself out of there as Ona gets the reset, and now Chovy's the one that's in trouble. This is a bit of a disaster. Yes, they secure the Drake, but the flash has to be employed. That's their last one that they had available. Chovy gets out. Oh, Duros did just come back up. I mean, but yeah, that is a lot invested to get that Drake.
Earlier you mentioned, well, the gold lead was much smaller, mind you, that the gold lead felt kind of fake. And a lot of that, I think, was based on the fact that this TF is hold up. Faker?
Yeah, Dominus is going to come on out here as the flash is up again for Keen, and he doesn't even need it. Wait, he does, actually. He used it just prior.
In the melee range. Faker just ends up getting burned down. But what I was going to say right before this is, I think this game is still incredibly close, right? You were looking at a game where Pays has... It's a bit of a race here for this turret. Well, actually, first brick was already taken in the bottom lane, but still a race for the second here for Gen.G. They'll win it before Doran is able to get his first of the game on the bottom side.
A little bit of a tempo advantage you could get from that one as well, as Doran is biding his time, trying to make sure that as many of these minions do go down. But because of that, Chovy is able to make his way back over here and is going to be able to come in, though, and Faker just gets out.
Escape artist, man, from the, the level 1 gank all the way to now.
But it does buy them a bit of space to use this Rift Herald in the mid lane. The outer ring of turrets likely to fall down on this next push. This turret is not long for the world. Chovy actually looking for a bit of an angle here as Faker taking a lot of damage just from that blue card with the Lich Bane stacked up.
This isn't the one. They're going to have to be proactive here as we see Doran TP in.
Yeah, he is very durable. And so they're going to have to give up on that prospect as Gen.G looking to try and make this a 50-50. Keen's teleported in, though, gets that big old shield. And let's see what the Renekton's going to be able to do. Pop Blossom under 3! The secure of the soul point for T1! But can they win the fight? That's the question. Doran is such a problem. He takes down Ruler before he falls, but Pays is dealing with so many problems himself. And Carrier running the wrong direction on the map. Faker and Ono, though, still huge threats in this fight, and Duro is limping away. And without Canyon, without Ruler, there is so much damage missing from this Gen.G composition. The gold card, my goodness, Carrier in a lot of trouble. He'll be taken down as Keen locks up that one. And Duro, why are we still going back? What is crazy to crash down? It comes on through. Chovy almost survives, and Keen now trying to sink his fangs in, playing around the vision that they had available, but it doesn't work. And Faker locks them all down with a triple kill for the Rise. Why?
I mean, there's so many things that go wrong here for the side of Gen.G, but the Smite secure is there for T1, and they're set up for the longer fight. They have the more consistent damage against them. They have no pride. They got to come contest.
And Faker has Actualizer now. He is so strong.
He is. Let's see whether Canyon can make some magic happen. It looks like the answer is absolutely not, as they look for the Magnet Storm combo with the bullet time, and Duro is just dead. Owner is able to secure the Baron, grab the kill, and now Gen.G are desperately fighting for their lives, and it will not happen. Owner is able to stand strong, and Chovy getting here late, and he will go down. It's the ace, and it's clean for T1.
Ace for T1, and the crowd erupts. 5 members of Gen.G dead on the back of that play, Baron in pocket, and they just cannot deal with all these threats. Fake is so strong. Owner with 7 kills. How can you shut down this Neferi?
I think they just punched their ticket. I think they've done it. They're on Soul Point. They got Baron.
He missed that Magnet Storm. The flash came through. The spell shield was there from Pays. And Ruler was so ready to trust. The bullet time just hit in the air. And T1 now, they've taken the inner turret towards the bottom side of the map. Inner in the mid lane is now going to be going down as well. And Gen.G well and truly on the ropes. It's a 6,000 Red Bull Baron power play already. And they still have a minute left on that one. They're looking to break the base in this bottom lane. And we already mentioned it, Gen.G's composition, it doesn't have legs. I mean, it does have a lot of legs based on the champions, but it doesn't have legs as far as the late game power.
And we're in the late game now, and T1 are scaled up.
All right, let's see whether Gen.G has a last-ditch effort in them. They now have the ultimates back up and available as that Destiny Gate does come back in, but it's going to take a miracle here if Gen.G are going to do it with this composition.
Ruler doesn't have, or Duro doesn't have flash to set up Ruler for success with a Magnet Storm. They just don't really have any ins here.
Look at Doran, he's just cutting them off from the tower.
Yeah, just wandering away. Doesn't actually hit the body slam. As now Ruler trying to get some work done, but does hit the air once again. Pop Blossom onto 3, the engage from Carrier. Absolutely beautiful, but the follow-up isn't quite there necessarily. Owner able to take down his opposite number, and Keen the next on the menu. Fangs go in, down goes the Croc, and it's a double for the Neferi. And T1, they're going to take another inhibitor and maybe even look to take the game.
They're going to TP Doran back in, they're going for the end.
Going to end. I don't think there's any way. There's no Magnet Storm, there's no bullet time, there's no answer to this push.
Well, let's see. Ruler is still up and available, but Doran is trying to stop that from being a reality. Duro goes down, and the Nexus turrets are following suit. They're looking for pace. The spell shield is gorgeous, and Chovy is likely to fall, but it's Ruler that falls first. And 1 TF against the world is not going to do it. The defending MSI champions will not make it to MSI this time, and it's T1 that reclaim